On February 4, 1976, Guatemala was shaken to its core by a powerful earthquake that left a trail of destruction and tragedy. This catastrophic event not only reshaped the country's landscape but also highlighted the resilience and solidarity of its people in the face of overwhelming adversity.
Guatemala, a Central American country characterized by its mountainous terrain and active tectonic activity, had experienced earthquakes before, but nothing could prepare it for the sheer magnitude of the 1976 disaster. At 3:01 a.m. local time, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck, centered near the Motagua Fault, which runs through the heart of the country. The quake was felt across much of Central America, but its epicenter lay in the densely populated region of Guatemala.
The immediate impact of the earthquake was devastating. Entire villages were flattened, and infrastructure was severely damaged. In the capital, Guatemala City, and other major towns, buildings collapsed, roads were rendered impassable, and essential services were disrupted. The initial shock was followed by numerous aftershocks, further compounding the destruction. The human toll was staggering. Over 23,000 people were killed, 76,000 were injured, and more than 1 million were left homeless. Many rural areas were cut off from aid due to the destruction of roads and bridges, making rescue and relief efforts incredibly challenging. The lack of preparedness and the inadequacy of building codes meant that many structures simply could not withstand the quake.
In the aftermath of the earthquake, the Guatemalan government, with limited resources, struggled to mount an effective response. International aid began pouring in, with countries and organizations around the world sending supplies, medical teams, and financial assistance. The United States, Mexico, and other neighboring countries played significant roles in the relief efforts. The people of Guatemala showed incredible resilience and solidarity. Communities came together to rescue those trapped under rubble, provide first aid, and distribute whatever food and water they could find. Makeshift shelters sprang up, and despite the dire circumstances, there was a palpable sense of unity and determination to rebuild. One of the most significant challenges was addressing the immediate needs of the injured and homeless. Temporary hospitals were set up to treat the wounded, and relief camps were established to provide shelter and food. Volunteers and aid workers faced immense difficulties due to the disrupted infrastructure and the sheer scale of the disaster.
The earthquake had a profound impact on Guatemala's development and policies. The scale of the disaster exposed the vulnerabilities in the country's infrastructure and the urgent need for better urban planning and building regulations. In the years following the earthquake, efforts were made to improve construction standards and implement more stringent building codes to mitigate the effects of future quakes. International aid played a crucial role in the recovery process. The funds and resources provided by foreign governments and international organizations enabled the rebuilding of homes, schools, and hospitals. It also fostered a sense of global solidarity and highlighted the importance of international cooperation in times of crisis. The 1976 earthquake also had lasting social and psychological effects. The trauma of the disaster lingered for years, but it also instilled a sense of preparedness and resilience among the Guatemalan people. Annual drills and educational programs were introduced to ensure that future generations would be better equipped to handle such natural disasters.
The 1976 Guatemala earthquake stands as a testament to the strength and resilience of a nation in the face of overwhelming adversity. While the disaster brought immense suffering and loss, It also unified the country and highlighted the critical importance of preparedness and international cooperation. As Guatemala continues to rebuild and develop, the lessons learned from this tragic event serve as a foundation for a safer and more resilient future.